Hey guys, it's Tyramuffin. So, bad news with this video. I recorded it all in one day, and then for whatever reason, the beginning of it got lost somewhere on my phone or my computer. Basically, I have to re record my 19 and pregnant story, the beginning. So, I'm just letting you know. So, when the scene changes and I have a different outfit on and I have makeup on, that's why, because I lost it. So, anyways, I just wanted to be a. I wanted to do a disclaimer. This is just my story. I just want to help and inspire other young moms or young pregnant people that it's not the end of the world. Things happen. I think things happen for a reason, and I'm very comfortable in my situation. I'm very excited. So, I guess here my story is. Please, no judging. I mean, if you do, it's whatever. I mean, I'm comfortable with everything, so, and I have a really strong support system, so that's amazing. So, this all started. I'll start last year around August is when I met this guy. We're gonna call him Guy A, and we were dating after we met, of course. Like, we hung out for a little bit. We started dating around the time I started going to college, which is like, wait, maybe things kind of happened fast with him, but okay. So just know that I met him. We were dating. I was in college. Okay, just know that much. Things were going really well until December. Things were still going well with us too. Um, when I was attending college, things were getting kind of hard for me. It was my first time being away from home, being in school around a bunch of rowdy kids that I wasn't really like into that stuff anyways. I just wanted to go to school, see how it worked out for me. And but he was really supportive of everything. Like, sometimes I wouldn't stay on campus. I would, like, he would pick me up and take me to his house like 30 minutes away, and he would come straight off of work 11 o'clock at night, pick me up, because I just did not like to be on campus. And he would be like, he was like the best guy I've dated, hands down. So December, I was like, I don't know if I should continue going to school. I'm not really loving it here, and I feel like it's just a lot. I was going through a lot at the time, but I decided to go ahead and stick it through. I mean, it was only the first few months of school, but a lot has changed. So um January comes. I'm really thinking about dropping out of school because things just got worse at school. My grades started dropping just a little bit, and I mean, I wasn't making the worst grades. I was making pretty good, decent grades, I guess. Um, but it was a lot of things that I was making the decision to drop out for. But January, I was just like, I'm gonna keep attending the school, just try to stick it out. I mean, the second semester at this point, only a few more months to go. February, I turned 19. I'm excited, of course. But at the time, me and my boyfriend, Guy A, we were having some issues. We were arguing a little more. And actually, no, we weren't arguing in February. Maybe like sometimes, but we were fairly pretty good still. So February, I turned 19, and then that's when I decided I'm gonna go ahead and drop out of college. Like, I talked to my mom and my dad about it, and they weren't like, "Oh yeah, do that." Like, they were just trying to make me realize that I'm a grown adult at this point. I need to make my own decisions and see how it affects me, like the way I decide to do things. So I decided to drop out. I ended up moving in with him. I believe, like, when we were dating, I already had a lot of my stuff at his house, so I was basically already living there. So I dropped out, and I guess March comes. We move into a new place, like, together around, I don't remember which month it was. Maybe it was like the end of February, the beginning of March. So, long story short, we moved into this new place and it was pretty cool. We got a cat and, it was all good. Things between us didn't work out. We were arguing really bad at this point. Um, the end of March was really bad. Um, and we decided to break up. But we said that I was still gonna live in the house. He didn't really want me to move out because I'm I'm a special girl to him. That's just what he tells me. So I'm not like cocky or anything, but I was a pretty big part of his life, and I guess he was a really big part of mine. So I didn't really want to move back to my mom's anyways. But we got into a really bad argument one night, and I decided that I needed to leave and go to my mom's house anyways, which was the best thing for me to do. Um, and then like the next day or a couple days later, I went and got my stuff while he was at work, and then he shows up like to the house while he's on break. Like I still had the key to his apartment at this point, but he decides to come home. Like I'm not gonna sit here and tell that story, but just know it got crazy. Okay. So moving on. When I stopped going to school, I still had a job. After a while, me and this guy realized, hey, like we really click. We're really like we're kind of really cool with each other. Like this is a good time. Like we just got really close and we could talk about anything. We had similar mindsets, which is kind of hard to find in people nowadays. So we started hanging out with just the two of us. We're gonna call this guy Guy B. I met him at work. So Guy A was before college, broke up, met Guy B a few months later. So when Guy B and I would hang out by ourselves, we would do the same things. He was really into music and he would like kind of make my musical side come out. Like I'm more into instruments and he's more into rapping and singing vocals and stuff like that. So we kind of were perfect in that kind of sense. We never dated, but we got really close. We were really good friends. We were hanging out like every day. So, and he was like close to work. So, why not? So, fast forward a few months. Well, I guess not even a few months. A few weeks. Sorry to say, but a few weeks. We were just on the topic of me getting pregnant for whatever reason. We were like, oh, if I get pregnant, I'm going to have an abortion. I don't want kids. I'm partying. I'm having a good time. I want to do all these things. I was so ambitious at the time. And funny how things work, right? Let's see, this was like, I'm trying to just like set up a good timeline for you guys. But, okay, so I found out I was pregnant basically. After I said all of that. And I even had a conversation with my mom. Not the conversation that I'm pregnant, but the conversation like she was telling me that a close family friend from a while ago, like her daughter was pregnant, she's my age, and I was like, that sucks for her, like she had such a long life to live and she want to sit out here and get pregnant, that sucks. So we had that conversation. I was like, Mommy, I don't want kids. Yes, I still call my mom Mommy, and I probably always will. But I was like, I don't want kids. I feel bad for all these people who had kids at a young age. I mean, no shame to them, but I just feel bad for them because there's so much more you could be doing. We literally had that conversation maybe 4 days before I started feeling different. At work, I would notice that, because I worked at a food place, and I would notice that the smells, it would just make me the slightest bit of nauseous. And it was always weird because I never really get nauseous. I don't get sick. Like maybe I'll catch a cold here and there, but I like to stay healthy because being sick is really hard for me. but it would just make me so nauseous. I could also tell that my fuse was a lot shorter with people. I mean, I didn't love everybody on my job, but I was always nice to them just because I didn't want any drama at work. Because that's not who I am. I mean, if you want drama, we can go there, but that's not what I wanted. So one day I talked to my mom and I was like, Mommy, I think I need to go to the doctor. Like, I don't know what's going on with me. I can't eat the same. Like, I get so sick. And, like, I could not eat anything dairy. Ice cream, cheese, milk. My stomach would get bubbly and stuff. So I talked to my dad. I was like, are you lactose? And he was like, well, yeah, I can't really eat ice cream or cheese. I stay away from that stuff. I was like, I'm lactose too. So basically, I had a doctor's appointment set up because I just wanted to, make sure that I'm lactose, just in case. Like, I love cheese so much. And if I have to get rid of it, I'm going to get checked to make sure I have to get rid of, stop eating the food. Because I love it. It's in my heart. Oh, yeah, we're supposed to go to the emergency room after I got off of work. Something in me told me, yo, you got this pregnancy test lying around in your room for whatever reason. Why don't you take that before you go to the hospital? Just in case. I wasn't ready to tell my mom if I was pregnant, if I was at the doctor. So I was like, you know what? You're right. So I was like, Mommy, I'm going to take the shower, then we can go. So I took the test while the water was warming up. Tell me why it said positive. It said 2 lines. Matter of fact, I got that pregnancy test somewhere around here. Somewhere. I think so. Is that unsanitary? So it says positive, and I'm literally, like, I'm on the toilet, like, well, I just peed, and I'm just like, I was literally there for, like, 5 minutes. The shower is still running, and I was like, oh my God, like, you know what am I gonna do? Like, I can't go to the doctor. My mom's gonna find out. And I took a shower. It was probably the quickest shower I've ever taken. I was like, Mommy, I think we should wait in the morning if I'm feeling better, to see if I'm feeling better, and we'll go from there. So obviously I didn't go in the morning because, I didn't want her to know. So I'm just like, I have this test, and I only had one of them, and they were like one of the dollar store tests, and I really had no idea what to do. So this is kind of funny. Well, it's not really funny, but it's kind of funny to me. So a few days pass by, and of course I tell Guy B. I'm like, I sent him a picture of the pregnancy test. I couldn't say it out loud. I couldn't say it in a text. Like, I had no idea how to tell him. We were on the phone at this point, and I was like, hey, I just sent you a message. Call me back when you get it, because, sometimes you can't send pictures when you're on the phone. So he called me back, and he was like, wow. So yeah, basically, that he wasn't disappointed. He wasn't, like, angry. He was just kind of, like, silent about it. He was just like, wow. And I was like, yeah, I don't know what to do. May I remind you, we had this random conversation about me having an abortion if I ever got pregnant. So a few days go by, and it's Saturday, and I'm supposed to work this morning. I was not feeling work, I guess, ever since I got pregnant. And at the time when I found out, I was 6 weeks pregnant. So I was dealing with these things at work, these, like, random things that pop up, like the smell, me getting sick all the time, and me dealing with everybody's drama. And I was like, this is not how I remember working for this place. So this is so bad, and I'm so sorry to the company I did this to. I really am, because it was a good job. But instead of going to work, I decided to drive to Maryland to my dad's house. And I didn't tell them that I wasn't going to show up. I didn't show up. And I told the guy, I was like, look, I'm not going to work today, and because we worked at the same place, so I was like, I'm not going to work. I don't want to. I'm going to Maryland. Why? I don't know, but I think it was a good decision. So this is when I tell my dad that I'm pregnant. My mom does not know yet. She does not know. Okay, so let's say it was Saturday morning. Yeah. So Sunday, we went out to eat brunch, I believe. It was just me, my dad, and his wife. Um, we were at Cracker Barrel, and I remember what I got that day. It was so good. But you know what? Let's stay focused. So basically, I talked to them, and I was like, I have something to tell you guys. And then his wife was like, you're pregnant. I was like, hey, I don't gotta say it, yeah. I didn't say that, but I was kind of happy on the inside that she said it instead of me saying it, because at the time I couldn't even say the word pregnant. I just did not feel right about the situation. So I was like, how did you know? She was like, well, would you believe me if I said I already knew? I was like, how did you know? I didn't tell anybody but this guy, and he doesn't know you. But she was like, oh yeah, I see it in your boobs and stuff like that. I was like, oh, okay, true. So my dad was like shocked. He was like, he didn't really say much. And I think I talked to them about, I was like, oh, well, I'm thinking about getting an abortion anyway, so, things will be okay. Things, like, it won't be that serious. And they weren't really for it. They weren't for the abortion. God, I'm tired of telling this story already. But anyways, they weren't for it. So later on that night, well, we continued the day normally. We went shopping for groceries, and this is how I knew my dad probably wasn't mad about it. Like I didn't really want to ask how he felt because I was ashamed at this point. But after we went grocery shopping, we got home, and there was a bottle. There's like a pack of water bottles, like the case of water in the car, and I was struggling to get that out of the back seat. And my dad's wife has a son, and he was like, put that down. Tell him to get it. You're pregnant. You can't do all this. So I was like, okay. I guess it was the little thing that made me think that it was okay. Not a good thing, but okay, So later on that night, I had a long conversation with my dad's wife, and she was like, oh, well, your dad is being too easy on you, basically, and this is not a good thing. And I was like, okay, that's why I said I'm gonna get an abortion. But then she was just like, you don't need to get an abortion, because I would say that we're not like religious people, like, oh my god, but we're definitely Christians. And she was just saying, this baby was put inside you for a reason. It's not going to be easy, and it's not the best thing that you sat here and got pregnant and weren't being responsible, but don't have an abortion. Okay, so this is like the crazy part. I might need some chocolate because it gets kind of crazy. Oh, Lord. So when you're pregnant, you gotta have some snacks on deck. By the way, this is one of my favorites right now. It's the day before Thanksgiving. So, like, the holiday stuff is coming out, Ghirardelli. That's how I say it. Also, I've been eating these. The Lindor. Oh my goodness. They are so good. Okay, sorry. I'm eating this chocolate. So, y'all just gonna have to deal. Okay? So, anyways, I'm with my dad. We're going shopping. Well, we're on the way to go shopping. And he comes up with this idea. Your mom doesn't know. We should call her. I was like, I don't know if I want to do that. I don't know. And when I think about it, I think all that stuff happened Saturday when I got there. And then Sunday, I had the conversation with, no. I think Sunday is the day that we went shopping. Because I left Monday morning. So anyways, he's like, let's call your mom. We're on the interstate and we're on the phone with her. And he's giving her a disclaimer. He's like, you know, our daughter is, I don't remember what he said, but he was just like, we need to tell you something. And then I think I was like, I'm with child, because I couldn't say pregnant. And she, like, I don't remember, like, all I remember was feeling like crap, like I'm disappointing my mom and all this stuff. I just did not feel good about it. But I told her, and right after I said that I was pregnant, I was like, but I'm about to get an abortion, so everything's gonna be all good. You know, we don't have to worry about anything because, you know, I'm gonna take care of this. And she just paused. And I remember the first thing she said was, oh, pause before I say this, there was somebody else in the family who had just gotten an abortion too. So this was like 2 weeks before. So now, fast forward 2 weeks, I'm here saying I'm gonna get an abortion. But she just says, have we let the spirit of abortion into the family? And that's, you know, we're religious. And I was just like, well, I don't want to be a burden on anybody. This was the main reason that I wanted an abortion, because I wasn't ready for kids, and I didn't have like the right money, and I knew I was gonna have to depend on everybody for everything. I was working, and people lived off the job that I worked at, but me, I knew that was gonna be very difficult. So, and mainly I just didn't want to be a burden on the family. So that's what I told her, and I don't really remember what happened after that. I remember my dad was pulling up to a parking space, and I opened the door, and I almost rolled out the car because I was just like, I was crying. I was really upset. I was just disappointed, and I know that my mom was too. But anyways, after all of that happened, I ended up going home the next morning, and I was so scared to go home because I didn't know what was gonna happen, or like what she was gonna say, because I knew we were gonna talk about it more when I got back to my house. But all she said when I walked through the door, she was like, "Hi, how's your trip?" You know, she was being really nice. I was like, my trip was good. I mean, it's not like she's evil, but I guess I was more hard on myself than anybody else was. I was expecting, you know, all the devils to come from hell. And, you know. So she came in my room once I was unpacking my bags, and she was just like, she told me a story about one of our family members who ended up having a baby while she was in college, and then 2 years later she had another baby, and she still graduated with honors. Like, she didn't have that much money, she didn't have like a lot of people to help her out, but she still got it done. And I think that conversation was the one that really made me change my decision about having an abortion. And that was basically how I told my mom and my dad how I was pregnant. My sisters, I wasn't really worried about them. I was more so worried that they would just judge me, because I guess I didn't feel as understood as I wanted to be, because at the time I wasn't really talking to one of my sisters as much. And me and my oldest sister, we have an odd relationship. We were never super close, but we never had like issues. But with me and my other sister, I felt like we were really close at one point in time. And she was saying I was judgmental and I was, all these things. But I was like, well, I don't see how I'm doing this. Well, I don't see how you see me as that. If, you're talking about these people, looking at them certain ways. And, I just didn't understand. So I told them maybe a few weeks later. I told everybody else in my family, like my grandma and like my friend, one of my closest friends. I didn't really have like that many people to talk to at the time, but I told everybody important, and then I told them a few weeks after. So yeah, but they found out. They were like, "Why did you keep it from us for so long?" I was like, "Well, because you guys said that I'm judgmental, but I thought you were judgmental." So, So to wrap up everything in a nice big ball, because the story was kind of long and kind of all over the place. Hold up, I want more chocolate. But where am I at today? Still pregnant. Today I'm 31 weeks pregnant, and honestly, I am just so thankful. I am so happy with the decision that I made to keep my child. I would have never known what I'm having. I would have never known how it feels to be pregnant and actually feel and experience the life inside of me. Having a baby girl due January, and I am so thankful. I thank God like every day for planting her in my body, because becoming pregnant has taught me so much and has made me grow up, really, because before I was pregnant I was doing all these things I should not have been doing, and being pregnant now, I just feel so good. Like, I stopped drinking. I'm only 19. I mean, everybody my age drinks, but I know that it wasn't right. It wasn't what I was supposed to be doing. So I stopped drinking, stopped, smoking, hang around with people who smoke. I don't look at people who smoke like in a bad way. It's just not for me anymore. And I don't want it around my child. And I'm just thankful that I have outgrown, those habits. And I'm glad that I have different ways to cope with things. Like, if I feel like I'm stressed, I'm thankful that I'm like expanding the family. Everybody is excited. I'm extremely excited, and I am just so thankful for her. I am so excited to be a mom. And would I change anything? Like, would I change dropping out of school? Would I change, like, I don't know, would I change it? No. I definitely wouldn't change dropping out of school, because there were just things I was dealing with in school. I was just becoming depressed, and I was like, you know what, school is a scam. People, like, the things I learned in class, I could Google, such a weird word, but I could Google it and be just as smart. But, I mean, if you think school is cool, stay in school. But, me, I got different ways to learn different things, so. But, yeah. Oh, and where am I at today? So, I'm still at my mom's house. And, like I said, I'm 31 weeks. I have everything set up here. Crib, I have everything paid for. Crib, stroller, car seat, all that stuff. And I'm working. It was really hard for me to find a job, like, since I found out I was pregnant to, like, a few months ago, since I started working. But now I'm working on base. I have a really good job. When I go into labor, have my baby next year, we'll see what happens with my job. I am unsure at this point. But my job, everyone at my job, they're so like, they're supportive, and I'm thankful for them as well. They make it so easy to be pregnant and working at, you know, my job. So I'm really happy. And I'm also happy that it's behind the gate, you know, military gate. So I think life is looking up. I plan on moving out next year with my baby, and I'll definitely keep you guys updated. See where my life goes, because I have no idea at this point.